It started at sunrise, hundreds of flights canceled, terminals filling with stranded passengers, and America's skies suddenly quieter. But behind the chaos of delayed vacations and missed business trips, something far more dangerous is unfolding. Experts now warn this shutdown isn't just an inconvenience. It may have opened a weakness in U.S. airspace security, one adversaries could exploit. Watch carefully, because this story affects not just travel, but national defense. At 6 a.m. Eastern Time, the Federal Aviation Administration triggered the first wave of emergency flight cuts, 4% nationwide. By noon, more than 800 flights had already been canceled across major hubs. Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, New York. Air traffic controllers, federal employees working without pay for weeks, began calling out sick, mandatory overtime, exhaustion, shortages. The system was simply cracking, and by next week, the FAA warns the cuts may increase to 10% of all U.S. flights. But here's where it gets concerning. America's airspace, the most complex and busiest in the world, runs on precision and constant monitoring. When staffing falls, surveillance weakens. When flights reduce, surveillance patterns shift. And when radar sectors are understaffed, blind spots emerge. In the Pentagon, shutdown chaos is not just a domestic issue. It's a strategic vulnerability. Military aircraft still fly. Reconnaissance missions still launch. But with fewer civilian controllers in the system, the military suddenly absorbs more stress. Backup coordination becomes slower. Interception response times widen by seconds, sometimes minutes. And in national defense, minutes matter. Former defense analysts warn that adversaries like Russia, China, and even non-state actors study these moments closely. A shutdown, a weak point, a timing gap. One analyst told reporters, when domestic aviation is strained, America's airspace becomes easier to probe and harder to defend. Remember, almost every military base in the U.S. shares airspace with civilian sectors. If those sectors weaken, the whole network feels it. Major airlines rushed overnight to reroute and cancel planes. Delta cut 170 flights. American reduced 220. United suspended dozens. Cargo hubs like Memphis and Louisville, critical for military logistics and emergency deliveries, also appear on the reduction list. That means packages, equipment, even time-sensitive defense components may face delays. And while the White House says it's not safe to fly, the shutdown continues with no compromise in sight. Meanwhile, pressure builds in Congress. The shutdown is now the longest in U.S. history. Negotiations have stalled. And everyday Americans and the military are caught in the middle. Before we continue, I want to hear from you. Do you think the government shutdown weakens U.S. national security? Tell me in the comments. Your insights help shape our next reports. If the shutdown extends further, here's what experts say could happen. Civilian airports may face deeper cancellations. Training pipelines for new air traffic controllers freeze entirely. Military flights, especially non-critical ones, may need new coordination routes. And the holiday travel period, one of the busiest of the year, could become the biggest aviation collapse in modern history. But here's the chilling part. The FAA administrator said in 40 years he has never seen measures like these. Not during storms, not during terror threats, not during national emergencies. This is uncharted territory, and adversaries watch what America does in crisis, far more than what it does in stability. America's security isn't just about missiles, aircraft, drones, or the military. It's also about the infrastructure behind them. When the national aviation system becomes strained, communication weakens, coordination slows, and response times stretch. The U.S. doesn't become defenseless, far from it, but it becomes slightly more vulnerable. And sometimes, that's all an adversary needs to test the limits, whether that's airspace probes, cyber attacks, or simply gathering intelligence during a moment of domestic instability. For now, flights are stabilizing. Airports remain operational. The system is holding together, barely. But the warning is clear. If air traffic staffing continues to thin out, if pressure continues to build, if the shutdown drags on, America's airspace may face risks not seen in decades. If you want more coverage on how global conflicts, crises, and geopolitical moves affect national security, make sure you subscribe and let me know in the comments, should the military take over temporary airspace management if the shutdown worsens? Thanks for watching. This is Military Affairs Report. Stay alert, stay informed, and see you in the next briefing.